Hey, welcome to Mando and Friends, presented by Verizon. My name is Mando Fresco, and today we have someone super special with the dopest fit here in Mando Fresco, Mando and Friends history. We have actress, star of How I Met Your Father, Francia Raísa. How are you, Francia?
I'm good, and I'm so happy you said I was the freshest, top #1. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I did ask him to do that, but it's fine.
Checks in the mail?
Yeah. I got you. You're good.
Thank you.
It's in the mail, right? Yeah, I just got the green light.
I accept Venmo and Zelle too, okay? All right,
Oh,
thanks,
now
guys.
he's being greedy.
Más rápido.
Más rápido.
Francia, how are you? It's been a while.
It's been a long time. We were just trying to figure that out. It's been years. I'm good. I'm happy. How about you?
Great. Thank God.
Yeah.
God is great. And, we're here after many, many years. And I'm so happy for you, for all the amazing things that are happening for you and that will come your way because of, I know how talented you are. Two, I know how hardworking you are.
Thank you.
It's
I appreciate it.
Nonstop. And then, you've been at it for a while.
Mm-hmm. Since I was 16, I started.
I want to take it back.
Okay.
Before you were even 16.
Okay.
When do you remember like that first glimpse of you wanting to be in the industry?
Oh, wow. I was really little. It was before 97. I was watching telenovelas with my grandmother. And I loved watching novelas. I was such a novelera. And I remember telling my grandma, un día yo voy a estar en la tele también, yo voy a hacer una novela. And that just stuck in my head. I was going to be an actress.
Yeah.
And so years went by. Unfortunately, my grandmother passed away at 97, in 97. So she was in her 70s. But when I was 16 years old, I was a junior in high school, and I was having a tough time socially in school.
Yeah.
It didn't dawn on me until recently what that was exactly. I went to my elementary and middle school was predominantly Latino and Asian, like Filipino, Pacific Islander, my bad. And when I got to high school, it was predominantly white. And that's when the first time I saw like segregation between different races and cultures.
Yeah.
So I had a bit of a tough time adjusting porque nadie me lo explicó.
Yeah.
And so I had a hard time making, certain friends. There were things that I wish my parents taught me that I didn't know. So when I was 16, I decided not to try out for the cheer squad. I had gotten kicked off this team my sophomore year of high school. I used to have a really weak immune system. I was really sick. I couldn't make it to practice. I had competition that weekend. Y se enojaron. I mean, I didn't really give an explanation. I totally understand. My mom was not about the cheer life because I had broken my arm the first year.
Oh, man.
So I got kicked off the squad, and I was like, you know what? Screw this. I want to be an actress anyway. Don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. So at 16, I started dancing at Millennium.
Nice.
And I was being approached by people like to backup dance, and I wasn't really aware of that world. And there was a friend who was hiring backup dancers. He's a rapper. He's actually one of Bieber's choreographers now. He goes by Jay Blaze. You know him?
Yeah.
Johnny. So I auditioned to be his backup dancer, and I got the role, and so I got the part. I'm talking like an actor. So I'm backup dancing, and then two of the girls I was backup dancing with, one of them had just walked in rehearsal, and she was like, "I booked a guest star on Unfabulous with Emma Roberts."
Yep.
And I was like, "How did you do that?" And she said, "I went to an audition." I said, "What's an audition?" I knew nothing.
No.
I just knew I put it out there. I'm doing this. How? And so she explained to me she has a manager and an agent. And I said, okay. Didn't know how forward this was at the time. And I said, "Can I meet your manager? I really want to be an actress."
Yeah.
And fortunately, they were sweet enough that they did introduce me. Pero en ese tiempo, at the same time, their manager was looking for a Latina actress that spoke Spanish. And I was like, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm here. So I met with her. She signed me right away, and I started auditioning. And what's ironic is my very first movie was Bring It On, a cheerleading movie after I just got kicked off the squad. So that's how it started. That was my long-winded version.
But I feel like, everything you do in life, it prepares you for the next step, right? And even though it's like The Rock, right? Mm-hmm. He wanted to be a professional football player.
Yeah.
Didn't work out. And then, he was doing intros at the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, that was wild.
It's like full circle. So,
Yeah.
you know, for you, you're in the cheer squad, and then you're like, I'm not gonna do that anymore. But that cheerness, is that a word? Was already in you. So when it came down to, like, I'm sure auditioning, when you get in the part, like that played a role.
I mean, I got really lucky in the beginning because my first few roles I had the hidden talent for. As far as cheer, they really wanted a dancer. And I remember we had a dance audition. I was like, oh, I'm about to murder this. It had nothing to do with cheer. They're like, we need great dancers. So when that happened, I was like, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
But then after that, I did a movie called The Cutting Edge. And they needed someone who figure skated. And I used to figure skate when I was 11. I used to compete, actually. Loved it. But I didn't like waking up at 4 a.m. to go practice at 5 before school. It was just too much, and I wasn't that in love with it. But I still had the skill. And ironically, right before that audition, I'm telling you, months before, I was like, I miss ice skating. So I just started taking lessons. Just randomly, I bought some skates, and then months later, I got the audition. I was like, wow. And that's actually what landed me the role. I wasn't the best actress in the beginning. I really wasn't. I didn't study the way that I do now. I didn't break down character. So they didn't want to give me the movie, Cutting Edge. They wanted someone else. They said she was a better actress, but I was the only one that could figure skate. So that's why I got the role.
Wow.
And that stuck with me. I said, I need to be good. I can't just fake it till I make it. That's what I've been doing. And now, I mean, thinking back on my life, manifestation is so real. That's what I did, is I put it out there, and nadie me puede decir que no. And so I've been, like you said, busting my ass ever since. During hiatuses, I go to acting class. I have not stopped learning. I'm always trying to find a way to make myself better.
That's key.
Yeah.
Is the fact that you continue to challenge yourself and to work on your craft. A lot of people, I mean, I know, I mean, in different crafts, but in the entertainment world, once they're in the game, they kind of just like, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't need to practice. I don't need to work on, but it's how you push yourself. And I mean, that's why the reason you're doing such amazing things. So let's skip to where you are now on this hit show, How I Met Your Father. How does that come about?
Oh my gosh, it was such a wild ride thinking about my journey here. Also, the fact that I'm doing comedy, never in my life did I think that. I used to think comedy was the hardest thing in the world. And because I watched novelas, I'm thinking, drama. Only drama. I'm thinking I'm going to be this great drama actress. And then when Grownish came about, mind you, I was scared. I was so scared. One, I'm 10 years older than the character. I was like, I can't look older. But I really wanted to work on that show. And so I remember my first couple months on there, especially first season, I'm freaking out. I'm a mess. I'm like, I don't know comedic timing. I don't know nothing. But apparently I just had it naturally in me.
Yeah.
And then when How I Met Your Father came about, it was crazy. I got the audition. I read the first scene. And I said, oh, I know this girl. I know her. I can play her. I hear my voice. No one else can do this. I see it clearly. And I auditioned for that role for 3 months.
Wow.
3 months of heartache, of nerves, of having faith, of believing that it was going to come back to me because I knew that it was mine. So it was around my 33rd birthday that I was auditioning. I was like, there's no way it's my birthday and I'm not going to get this. Like, there's absolutely no way. And the part went away for a second. And I was like, no, they're coming back. And I was in Antigua celebrating my birthday. And there was one evening where I let it go. I just let it go. And I said, whatever happens, happens. I did what I could. And I got the call the next day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So now I'm here and I'm like, I still got to work really hard. I'm studying actors. I've always been studying, but now it's like I'm watching so much comedy. I'm looking at stand-up. I'm just studying the timing and jokes and just seeing what's going on and the humor around the world right now.
When you start doing acting as a comedic actor, how different is it from what you're used to?
Now I'm just trying to find the joke in everything. But what's crazy is what we find funny, it's not, I don't want to say it's depressing, but like the more depressed, the more funny it is. Like think about all the memes that are popular, all the GIFs that are popular. Like, you know, I have some.
The darker, the better.
The darker, the funnier, because you're like, that is so true. Life is hard. And I think the secret is once you start making fun of life, or you just laugh with it and you just take the punches because it happens and it comes. And it honestly does shape you. You find the humor in all of it, and that's where the comedy comes from.
Yeah. Do you, when you're looking for a coach, are you looking for a comedic coach, or it's just an acting coach?
So I've had the same coach since I was 18 years old. His name is Aaron Spicer.
Aaron Spicer.
You know Aaron?
Yeah.
I've worked with Aaron since I was 18.
Wow.
And he saw it in me when I first met him. And I remember he said to me, you have no idea what power you have. And when you figure it out, oh, it's going to be dangerous. And I'm like, yes, the way. What is he saying right now? Like, I don't know. I'm 18. And I kept going to class, and he was really hard on me. But, you know, I guess most people would say hard. He's from New York. He just has a New York attitude. Yep. And if you don't get it, it's hard. But he believed in me so much, and he pushed me. And I remember there were times where he'd be like, you're good, but, like, you're not great. Or he'll say you're bookable, but that doesn't mean you're good.
Cutthroat.
Oh, like, he's so cutthroat. And I estaba tan cerca. I was like, I'm going to be great.
Yeah.
So I just kept going to class and kept going to class. And I remember when I got the audition for How I Met, it was the first time I didn't get coached. I always get coached. And I said, I know her so clearly. I don't want anyone to change my voice in this. So I did it by myself. And I remember I called my acting coach. I said, hey, I auditioned for this. I went through all this, but I got the part.
Wow.
And I explained to him, I was like, I know I didn't call you for coaching, but I just saw it so well. And I even mentioned to him how he said I was bookable, but that didn't mean I was good. He was like, Francia, you were always good, but you said you wanted to be the best. I was like, and it worked.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I got to know Aaron Spicer. I wasn't going to become an actor. I was going to just kind of break out of my shell and you know, be better at what I do in front of a camera and things like that. And we were doing a lot of like improv.
Yeah.
A lot
Scene
of
study.
Yeah, like a lot of very deep stuff. Like I have such a respect for your craft.
Thank you.
And
it's hard.
It is very hard. A lot of people, they just think you pretend, you know, in front of a camera and you call it a day. That's not the case.
You really have to dig into emotions that most humans do not want to deal with. They don't deal with it. We have to open Pandora's box.
Yeah.
We have to understand pain in a way that most people cannot handle. It's no wonder that a lot of us are depressed and sad. And, you know, because on top of the industry being so hard, it's hard understanding these scripts and living it.
Yeah.
I mean, like some of the greatest actors, what can I say? Like, you know, rest in peace, like Philip Seymour Hoffman. Like he really got into it. Heath Ledger, same thing. You really get in there, and it's tough to get out.
Now, this next section of the program is sponsored by Verizon. Verizon has partnered up with Oi Health to offer discounts and savings on telehealth services en tu idioma for customers and their families. And as you guys know, health, not just physical health, but mental health is very important. So for this next question, Francia, I want to highlight mental health in nuestra comunidad. What are you currently doing to take care of your mental health?
I do a lot of things. So journaling is a big part of my life. I started journaling probably a lot in 2014. And rather than telling the wrong ears what I'm feeling, or I read a quote the other day, like, be careful when you trust a friend with your secret, because that's a huge responsibility on them. And so I started journaling a lot. I go to therapy. I go to therapy once a week. Dude, you have to. And then I just make sure that especially ever since COVID, since I really understood that I need alone time. I need me time. Last week I told my team, I need a day off. I need just one day. Leave me the hell alone. I don't have to go to the beach. I just wanted a second to be in silence, and I feel so much better today. That was yesterday. I feel so much better today. So I'm just paying attention to more so what my body needs. I know adrenaline really drives me, so I work out a lot. But it just depends on my day. One thing that I'm starting to do more, and this was because of a friend of mine, we were walking our dogs and she kept being like, oh my God, look at that butterfly. Oh my God, look at the trees. Oh my God. And I've walked that same block for years, never noticed it because I'm on my phone. And I said, Steph, I've never noticed these things. I'm always on my phone. She goes, the world is so beautiful. I used to do that. Just start looking up. And it's so simple. So simple, but it's so true.
Yeah, I was in, and this is not to brag here, guys, but I was in Hawaii this weekend.
He was gonna find a way to bring it up.
Guys, so I was in Hawaii, right?
Míralo. Yo atrapada en mi casa for a day off, and you're in Hawaii.
There's a reason why I'm bringing this up, guys. It's not just a stunt, you know. And in Francia, just looking around, you know, the trees, the greenery, the sun, the sunset, the water, the birds, like it's crazy how I went on a solo trip.
Yeah. Oh, good.
I went on a solo trip,
Oh, okay.
and it was my first vacation solo trip.
Wow.
And it was beautiful. You know, I definitely would recommend it to anyone that can.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you got to fly out. Just like go somewhere on your own and just like discover, you know, new things. It's such a soothing, refreshing. You gotta disconnect to reconnect.
Yes, that is absolutely true.
And the fact that you're saying that you were walking and you were, you know, missing things because you were on your phone. I mean, we're guilty of it.
Yeah,
like all of us.
And mind you, if I was in Hawaii, I would have looked around anyway. Sometimes we have to do that in our own home.
Yes.
That's the problem. We're here, and especially in LA, I'm sure the minute you touch ground, you're like, hustle time, grind time.
Oh my God.
Right?
The
anxiety.
minute the wheels touch, I'm like,
whew. You're checking emails.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're checking emails, you're checking texts, you're checking your calendar. You're on the 405 going, all right, what can I get accomplished today? I know I just got off a flight, but I have to do something. I hate it. I hate that feeling. And we have to learn how to even separate ourselves from that at home.
Yeah, 1,000%. I had a plan I landed at like 5 a.m. I thought when I land, I'm going to get ready and I'm going to head to the office. No, that couldn't happen.
Yeah.
My body was like,
Calmate.
you're tripping.
Yeah.
And my mind was on sleep mode. Like I just wasn't ready. And like you said, we have to listen to our bodies. And that's something that I was part of that culture that romanticized no days off.
Yeah.
For many, many years.
Oh, yep.
You know, hashtag no days off, like no days off. But that's not healthy at all.
No, it's not. Your body needs to rest, or that's when you get, sound like my mom right now. Si no te vas a enfermar.
Yeah.
Descansa o si no.
Yep.
No, but it's true. Your body tells you, and sometimes your body forces you to stop. And I never want to get to that place ever again.
Yeah, no, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing yours
with
too.
us. You talked about, misconceptions. Earlier, I was saying how I respect your craft.
Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest misconception of Francia?
That I'm a good liar because I can act. And that, I mean, lying and acting are two completely different things. The reason why I think I'm such a good actress is because I finally understood what the work is. You know what the work that Aaron is talking about? Over COVID, I don't know, one day it clicked. I said, oh, I know, I get what he's saying now. And, you know, it's learning the character's background, their favorite color, their sexual orientation, everything. You're literally creating a human.
Right.
When I'm in my real life, I'm not lying. Like, this is how I am, or this is what I do. And unfortunately, that happened to me a lot in dating. My ex-boyfriend used to say all the time, I never know when you're telling the truth because you're such a good actress. And I was like, wow, that's actually really offensive.
And a compliment.
No, it's not. How is it a compliment?
He's saying you're a great actress.
It's a backhanded compliment.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
I guess so.
I'm playing myself here.
Yeah.
How can I lie about this?
Yeah.
These tears are not because I'm good at crying. Like I'm in pain right now, and you're blaming acting. So there's a huge misconception that actors are really good liars. Also, that acting is easy. It's not easy. Like, you took class.
Right.
It's not easy to read that, and then put it on camera, and then having 100 people watching you, because on TV you're just seeing the people in the scene, but behind the scenes it's hair, makeup, the entire crew. Especially now with COVID, cameras that are streaming to the studio, streaming to the network. Like it's hard, and it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about what you do for a living?
Creating. Now it's creating the character, and my favorite part is when I know I did well, or I landed a joke, or my scene just killed, and no one has to say it to me. If I feel it, that's my favorite part.
Right.
And being able to, like when I read Valentina, being able to see the character clearly, that's my favorite part. That's when I'm having fun. When I'm still trying to figure it out, or I don't get it, it's not fun. And now at this point in my life, I'll turn it down. If I don't connect with the character, and I think of someone else that'll play it better, I'm like, I'm not even gonna go for it, because it's not worth it. I don't care how big the project is, or maybe just to meet them, I'll do it. But if it's not there, it's not there.
Did that take some time for you to turn things down, or to say no?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I was, again, in that mentality of saying yes to everything and always working, and what if this and what if that. And I'm really trying not to live in fear. Now I'm in a more confident place where I'm trusting myself. I'm trusting my craft. I'm trusting that I have a better idea of what I'm doing. I can't say it completely no, because, we're always learning.
Right.
But to say no to things, to say no to money, you're like, all right.
Where do you think that comes from? Because I think it's in us, for us to say yes to everything, and
Fear.
yes to work, and yes to
Fear
fear
of not working, fear of not making it, fear of something else not coming, fear of having downtime. I think it all stems from fear, and that happens a lot in this industry.
Yeah.
We're always scared that this is the last thing. Like, it's crossed my mind, like, what if I can't book anything after How I Met Your Father? But honestly, the more we manifest, and the more that we're confident in ourselves, the more things just come. We have to have an open heart to receiving, because when we're scared, we don't receive, and then everything just goes away. We're not hearing our internal self telling us which way to move and maneuver, because we're there, but fear kind of overpowers all of that a lot of the time.
You've been in this industry for many, many years. You're very well respected.
Thank you.
Today, what do you say that you've learned, and what advice would you give to someone who's starting up?
Wow, I've learned a lot in this business. I think one of the main things was what I was just talking about, is fear. Rejection's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You're never gonna be best friends with it, but learn to get along with rejection. It'll make things a lot easier. And I think for anyone starting, understanding that when you walk in a room for an audition, everyone actually does want you to win. They want you to do well. They want to see good work. And if it's not there, it's nothing personal. And honestly, it does come down sometimes to a look thing. Like,
Right.
especially when they're trying to cast a family, you might read really well, but if you don't look the part, it doesn't make sense. And that was one of the hardest things that I had to learn. And then when at certain projects I didn't get, and then I watched it, I was like, all right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So, don't take anything personal. Work at your craft, work really hard, and just have an open heart of what's going to come in. And as far as saying yes to things, I think, didn't Shonda Rhimes write a book about saying yes to everything? I think that's important at first.
Yeah.
And then I think it's also important to understand boundaries.
Yeah.
And have a clear plan of where you're trying to go. Once you have that clear plan, it's easier for you to steer away from the things that don't align with that plan.
Before all of this, the work, before you landing auditions, way before How I Met Your Father, you growing up, you grew up in the Valley, right? Mm-hmm. Family is Hondureño and Mexicana, right? And at that point, when you tell your parents that you want to go into acting, is there any no hagas eso, or
Not at all.
do it?
Not at all. I mean, because I'd been talking about it since I was a little girl. So it wasn't a surprise to my family. It was like, oh, okay, well, now she's going for it. And here's the thing. Ever since I was little, my parents will say it, I've always been independent. I couldn't wait to be an adult. I was always like, soy una adulta, trátame como una mujer grande. Like, and I was 12 years old.
Right,
or like
right.
13. I'm a teenager now,
12
okay?
going on 21.
That was me.
Yeah.
So when I started auditioning at 16, I had a license. I was like, they didn't even offer to take me to auditions. They were like, who do we sign guardianship to? Like, they have 2 other kids. My dad was always busy. My mom had the 2 other girls to worry about who are younger than me. And I was like, yeah, I'll have a guardian. That's fine. Sign this paper. And I just went off. And I started auditioning. And I would tell them, I'm going to do this. My first job was a music video with Lil Romeo, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
That was my very
I know
first
that.
job.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm going to go do this music video. Okay, I have to go do this commercial. And I really was figuring it out by myself. And I was still in school. And even though they signed my permission slip to work, it started becoming a problem because I was absent too much. I was doing more modeling print jobs and commercials than anything. But yeah, no, they were like, okay. And then when I said I booked a movie, they're like, all right, can we come visit you? Like, it wasn't like a thing. Like, they just weren't surprised.
Yeah.
And now, obviously, they're happy. And when the billboard came out, I mean, that was my first one. I mean, my family was like,
congrats.
That's crazy. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, your pops, I was telling the guys earlier, a very famous, legendary broadcaster based out of Los Angeles, but, pretty much all around the world known. I personally grew up, listening to your pops. Was it ever a thought for you to get into broadcasting?
No, because my dad did it.
Yeah.
I was like, I deserve to be in front of the camera. And it was because Dad was doing it. And I saw how early he was waking up because he would get up at 3 a.m. for his 5 a.m. I was like, hell no. And then on Saturdays, I actually started going with him. It was 6 to 10 on Saturdays. And it's hard. Like, much respect to you.
Yeah.
Because improving for all those hours, it's a talent. Like, acting's hard, pero por lo menos we have a script and we have stuff to work with and rehearse before. Like, you have to do stuff on the fly. And then when things go wrong, or maybe you have a guest that says something that like took a curve, you're like, okay, you just have to fix it on the fly. So no, I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, what I recall, your dad would have skits. Your dad he was acting. The radio is known as the theater of the mind, right?
Yeah.
So it was in you. Your dad, by the way, El Cucuy.
Yeah, El Cucuy de la Mañana.
Shout out to el señor Renan.
Renan Almendares Cuello, El Cucuy de la Mañana.
Yeah. So he was acting.
Yeah.
Behind the mic, and maybe it was in you.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. My mom said this the other day. She's like, "Pues te salió algo bueno del Cucuy," and I was like, "Yeah." I mean, I guess it was in me, you know. And I know that he was really good with voiceover and coming up with different voices. So I've been playing
comedy.
Oh, the comedy I couldn't. And I remember my dad. He would always get comedy books, like the little caricaturas in Spanish.
Yeah.
And he would spend hours and hours in the bathroom just reading that. He was hiding the fact that he was hiding cigarettes. I mean, smoking cigarettes. But he would spend hours in the bathroom. And I was like, oh, that's why he did it. And now I'm starting to understand it. And I'm kind of starting to follow his formula of what he did. And it works.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I want you to know that you are very important to the Latinx culture.
Oh, thank you.
Representation is so important. Do you ever think about the role that you're playing, not just on screen, but like off screen as well? You're a huge role model to Latinos, to Latinas, everywhere.
I just started to recently. I didn't see myself as that before at all. I think I was in such a hustle mind, trying to make it and trying to have a name for myself, that I did not think about any of that off camera. And mind you, I grew up in this industry at a time that social media didn't exist yet. I think Instagram came about right when my first show was ending, and I still really didn't understand. I was like, what's Twitter? I don't get it.
Yeah.
So when I got on Grownish, Yara had an event. It was 18 by 18, I think it's called, and it was basically encouraging 18-year-olds to register to vote. She had a dinner, and I met a woman there, and she said to me, she's like, "You're really important to Latinx people." I said, "Huh?" And she said the same thing to me, and it never dawned on me, ever, that people were watching me. And I remember Diane Guerrero, the first time I met her, she was like, "Dude, I watched you growing up, and I knew because I saw you that I could potentially do this. So thank you." And I was like, "Really? Well, girl, you're working more than me now."
I mean, in roughly around the same age, right?
Yeah, we are.
But I think it's crazy how like, people say, "Oh, I grew up watching you." And
that tripped me out because we were at America's house, and I was thinking that about America, like, oh, gotta kick it up was my thing, and then I'm having people tell me that I admire. I was like, wow, that's crazy. I didn't know I was there, and then that it's getting there even more. So now that's in the back of my mind, and that's all I think about now. Well, just like my dad, thinking about my comunidad, how can I help? How can I represent more? And because I'm so self-conscious of it off camera now, that's why I'm a lot more conscious of what I choose on camera.
I love that.
Yeah.
Not only are you a representation, a great one, but you also represent it very well. Like you were saying how you're very mindful of it now, as to what, your role is going to be, what your character is going to be like, because sometimes we do get representation on screen, but it's not the right representation, right? Just because you're of Latinx descent and you're on screen, it doesn't mean that it's a good representation, because there's a lot of stereotypical characters, and the fact that the characters that you're doing that you're a part of, that's not the case.
No, and I've gotten really, I want to say that in the beginning, I just got really blessed and lucky early on. And now I'm just a lot more self-conscious of it. And again, like those blessings they just keep going. There are some roles that I'm not proud of. There are some jobs that I'm like, ooh, we shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But we all have them.
Right.
We all have to pay our bills. But now, thankfully, I'm in a position where I can be a little more picky. And even if there's a role that I'm like, I want to do this, but I'm going to talk to them about this one thing. And the cool thing about people being a lot more open and us unlearning so much is there's so much more of an understanding and open-mindedness when it comes to it, which is nice, because before it could have been a fight, and now it's not so much. It's people really wanting to learn.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. Is there something that you're also passionate about aside from acting that you want to do here in the coming future?
Yeah, I guess in high school, I didn't know this, but I used to write a lot. I stopped writing. I don't know why. And that's been coming up a lot in my wants and needs in my body. I've been waking up at 3:00 in the morning, and I read somewhere, have a pen and paper. That's where, you get creative. So I've been writing a lot in my journal, but there are a lot of ideas. And I'm just trying to figure out how to do that in the future, but writing is another passion that came about.
You said you wake up at 3:00 in the morning?
Oh, I have insomnia. Yeah, so it starts.
So it's not a preference. You're just not like, 3:00 in the morning, let me write.
No, mi cuerpo se levanta. No, I get upset. I'm upset. The insomnia started last summer, and now, before I was like just upset about it, and I talked to our director Pamela Fryman about it because she has it really bad, and she's like, start writing. And I said, okay. So I've been writing. This morning it was 5:30. It's between 3 and 5 that I wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, it sounds like a great time. But still, even at 7 in the morning, I'm like, ding! Because sometimes I'll force myself back to sleep, but my body goes off before the alarm every day. It's so annoying.
What's your schedule like now? I mean, like waking up around 7, going to sleep at.
Oh, I get sleepy at 9:30. At 9:30, I get sleepy. I'd like to be in bed by 10:30, but if I'm out at 9, I'm like, yo, guys, I can't. And now if people invite me out and they're like, all right, the party starts at 10, I'm like, whoo. Wow, you guys, you're really pushing it right now. Yeah. It's Saturday. I know, but okay. All right, give me a Celsius.
I was just telling your team before you got here, I told them, man, it's been a while since I've seen Francia. We would see each other, run into each other like at events and at parties. Like, I said, if she doesn't remember, that means she was having a great time.
Oh, that's so funny. I don't remember the events. But obviously I've met you so many times. But yeah, I was pretty plastered every time we hung out.
It was a great time every time.
Yeah, I used to drink a lot. I mean, I was so sheltered growing up. Like, my dad didn't let us do anything. Like, he was very strict with us. And like, it's not like they really introduced us to alcohol like that. I turned 21 and I went balls to the wall.
Yeah.
So yeah, vodka and I, we were best friends at one point. But yeah, now I've calmed down a lot. Now I can't even do it.
Yeah, no, but you're right about like if the party starts late.
Do you remember pre-gaming at 10:30, like como si nada?
Yeah. I was invited to an event recently. It was at a club, and you know,
No.
I would DJ clubs all the time.
Yeah.
Right? And it said, my friend said, "Oh, we're gonna get there at 11." And I'm like, 11, bro.
I'm out.
I showed up at 11. I was gone by midnight.
I'm surprised you lasted that long. Literally, sometimes I'll say, all right, I'm ready to go. Because I like salsa dancing a lot lately. And, you know, I go to like La Descarga or something. And they're like, all right, we're going to get there at 11. I have flaked every time. Every time. Because at 9:30, I'm like, you know what? I sat on the couch. I'm watching Succession. I just, you know, and I like having dinner at 6:30.
Yeah.
So at 7:30, I'm like, whoo, that means we're going to be done at like 9, huh?
I know you love salsa dancing.
Yeah.
I know you're into yoga as well.
Yeah.
Right? Is this something that you've picked up more so after the pandemic, or you've always been into it?
Yoga was before the pandemic. So I was taking a lot of yoga, and I do sculpt. I like high intensity, hot yoga with like really good music. And there was a hiatus that I had from Grownish over the summer. I'll tell you this story off camera. I'm not ready to tell it on camera yet. But I ended up having nothing to do. And I was like, I had 2 months off, just 2 months. And then we were going to go back to Grownish. I said, all right. They were offering teacher training at my yoga class. And for some reason, I was like, I feel like I should do this.
Yeah.
So I entered the program, and I became a yoga sculpt teacher. Now, I finished around the time that I started filming Grownish, but I was like, I'm not going to do all these classes and not teach. So I worked on Grownish Monday through Friday, and Saturday and Sunday I would teach yoga.
Wow.
Yoga sculpt at the studio. I was so tired, but I had so much fun, and I did it up until COVID happened. I remember I was teaching at the studio, and then the mayor made the announcement about everything shutting down by 8 o'clock that night. And one of the teachers couldn't make it, and I was like, I'll substitute the class. Let's have a party. And that was it. And then I taught a little bit during the shutdown on Instagram Live. I didn't know it was going to kick off as much as it did. I was going to do it just for fun to make sure I worked out. And then people were like tuning in like crazy and messaging me the way their body changed. I was like, what? So I did it for as long as I could, but I got tired. It was like 3 times a week. And I was like, listen, I have a lot more drinking to do at 10 a.m. So we're going to take a break here.
It becomes a job at that point.
And that's what it felt like, a job. And it was fun. I loved seeing everyone's results, but you know, I just needed a break because I was talking and working out at the same time. I got really, really, really skinny, and I was happy but not, because it was too much, and I wasn't feeding myself, and I wasn't doing the things that I wanted to do to take advantage of that time, because I had shut myself out for 2 months prior to COVID after I had my kidney surgery. And I remember after I left those 2 months, I thought back on it and I said, no aproveché. I was depressed. I was pissed. I felt like I was missing out on life. And all I did was mope around for 2 months. Instead of picking up an activity or reading or watching movies, I was just depressed. So when COVID happened, I was like, all right, well, I'm not missing out on anything. Everyone has to stop. So I'm going to take advantage, and I'm going to do the things that I didn't do back then. So aproveché. And so teaching just didn't allow me to do all the things that I wanted to do. Yeah. So I stopped, and then it was all good.
Kidney surgery, is that a quick recovery?
No. It took me about, I want to say, a little over a year to feel like myself again. Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, and your body's adjusting. Like, you know, thankfully I'm better about going to the bathroom, because you have to pee all the time. But at first, and I had booked Grownish right after that surgery. I started working on it 2 months after. So, and I didn't tell anyone. So all they knew is Francia always has to pee. Always has to pee. Aren't you a grown woman? I remember them making fun of me, making jokes like, at cut, or do you have to go to the bathroom? And I'm like, yeah. And then when the news came out, I'm like, you feel bad now?
What were you saying?
What was that? I'm a hero? Okay.
All of a sudden.
All of a sudden.
That's very admirable
Thank you.
of you. And man, if it would have happened to me, like I would have told everyone from the get, like, you know, maybe not fully, but like, yo, I just had surgery. Like, leave me alone. That wasn't the case, right?
No, you know what? I didn't want it to, I didn't want anyone to feel bad for me. I didn't want anyone to treat me like an angel. And I also didn't want that to get me the job. So my very first audition 2 weeks after surgery was Grownish. And I put on a face.
2 weeks after?
2 weeks after. I couldn't walk. I was in so much pain.
Wow.
But as soon as I walked in that room, I was like, what's up?
Yeah.
I guess at that point I'm lying. But I was like, I'm putting on this character. And I wanted to know that I earned the part, and it wasn't like, oh, she gave a kidney. And I don't think it would have, but I just didn't want any sort of incentive in there. And so when I got the part, I was like, all right, now we can tell people. And the casting directors did know, only because I couldn't open the door after my initial audition. It was really heavy. And you realize how much core you actually use when you don't have your core. And so I said, oh, I gave it to my sister. That was it.
Yeah.
And so after I booked it, I remember Kenya came up to me. He was like, you gave a kidney? I was like, oh, yeah, that part. They're like, he said, they didn't tell me till after the fact. That's so admirable, blah, 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 whatever. And then when the news was about to come out, I was like, yeah, so I lied. I don't want you guys to think I'm a liar, but like the circumstances. And yeah, it was all good. It was fine. And they were very protective of me because I wasn't used to being in the media that much. And I was like, can I just work? Where's the paparazzi? I don't want this.
Yeah. How are you today?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm happy. I'm healthy. It really forced me to be a lot healthier, and I'm a lot more conscious of my mind. I think also age made me a lot more healthier because food just doesn't sit the same anymore. And yeah, I took one of those allergy tests, and it says I have a slight sensitivity to chicken. I'm like, that's rude. Desde cuando?
Do you still eat chicken or no?
Yeah, but I'm trying to. So the key to it, I guess, I did that really well, is like to cancel stuff out and then slowly introduce it back in. I've still been eating it, but I'm trying to eat less of it. Yeah, but and that's one thing out of many that I found out. But health-wise, yeah, I'm feeling great.
We talk about health and food sensitivities and allergies with the team here all the time. I'm gonna take my test on Thursday, tomorrow.
The same one?
The food sensitivity.
71, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Cause I have like. I get these weird like allergies. I have asthma too. I feel like hopefully that's gonna help me too. Help me with my asthma.
I've learned that food, it plays a big part in your body's health. I mean, that whole eat right for your blood type thing. I believe in that, although I don't follow it. Apparently, I'm supposed to be vegetarian. I'm also Mexican. I don't know how that's gonna work.
Yeah. It's tough.
It's tough. So we gotta just find balance.
Yeah, balance. You know, I went to my mom's house yesterday. I had a taquito de chicharrón, just one.
Oh, just one. Balance.
It's all in the portions.
Oh, I stopped eating pork. That's one thing I did stop. Chicharrón. Wow. I remember those days.
So good. So good.
So good. But I stopped.
I wanted to go into you. Obviously, I've talked about how you've been in the game.
Yeah.
Growing up, were you looking at someone that you looked at as a role model, as a hero, as an inspiration?
I would say Jennifer Lopez was a big one because of my dance background. Salma Hayek as well. I've been referencing her a lot. But there wasn't a lot for us, you know, growing up. I think it was really when I saw Selena, the movie, that I was like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try this. Because it was the first time I saw Latina. I remember going to the movie theater on the big screen. And I remember my first time also seeing another Latina was Salma Hayek and Wild Wild West. And I was like, all right, we can do this.
Yeah.
I didn't know Catherine Zeta-Jones wasn't Latina because when I saw Zorro, I was like, I look like her too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that really inspired me. And then, you know, when Jennifer got the Vanguard Award, I think it was at MTV, and she said that people told her she has to pick one lane. Acting, singing, you can't do both. And she was like, well, why not? So simple, and that changed my whole perspective. That's true. Why not?
So you're gonna start singing?
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
A new album's dropping.
¿Te calmas?
A rap album?
O te calmo.
Would you go into? I mean, is singing a thing, or
here's
is
the thing. Let me just tell you some of my friends. Oh, Chloe and Hallie, Jordan Sparks, Amber Riley. I'm not singing. I'm going to shut the hell up. I will dance my ass off anywhere, anytime. Yeah. But having friends, and there's more that I haven't even mentioned, I'm like, mejor callada.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't singing. Becky, I'm friends with, like, no.
I love Becky.
Love Becky. I knew her when she was like, I think she was like 9 years old. It was so funny. I went to a dance studio where she was at, and the owner, I mean, every time she had anyone that was on TV come, they were like, oh, you got to perform. And I remember she had Becky perform for me, and I think she sang Como la Flor.
Oh, that's so cute.
And I remember looking at Becky, I was like, you're going to be a big star one day.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're going to make it. She goes, oh, thank you. You know, I really want to sing. And I was like, no. I'm not kidding. Like, you're going to blow up. And so when I saw her first single, or Mayores, actually, I was like, I called it. Should have been a rep, but it's fine.
Oh, she was on the show and we talked about Mayores and how she said how that song, Becky G, we're talking about Becky G, how that song completely, changed her life.
Yeah, it did. And I still listen to it to this day. It's so good.
Such a banger.
Yeah. But the first time I heard her say stuff like that, a mí me gustan más grandes, I was like,
hey, excuse me, what?
Oye, calmada, you're 9. I saw her recently, and I was like, how old are you now? Wait, you're 9 years old to me still. What's all this sexy stuff?
Yeah. No, she's definitely growing up. Man.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Yeah, I love her. Speaking about music, is there an artist or artist that you listen to on the way to auditions or on the way to that are special to you, on the way to shoot a scene?
You know what? It depends on my mood and what the scene is. I have a lot of artists. If I really want to get amped up, I'll be honest, I listen to a lot of bachata and I listen to a lot of reggaeton now. I love Karol G. I love Aventura. Romeo's voice, I'm just like, whoo. I know you're a big fan of him.
Yeah, of course.
But it just depends on my mood and what the role is. If it's a more dramatic role, then I'm listening to a lot more chill music. But an artist that like just gets me going, I can't pinpoint anyone. Like right now, I'm obsessed with Ed Sheeran's song that I didn't like at first. Not Shivers, the other one. Bad Habits. That just gets me going.
Yeah.
During COVID, when we were in the shutdown, for some reason, that Pia Mia song was the best. Do It Again. When that beat dropped, I was like, oh, it got me through whole COVID. I listened to it every day on repeat. I don't know why.
Let's do it again.
Yeah. Or like sometimes I'll listen. Yeah. That one. Let's do it again.
Have you heard the J Boog version?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, he did that?
J Boog. So before Pia Mia, J Boog wrote that song.
No way.
Do It Again. It's amazing.
Oh, you're gonna have to show me when we're done.
So I was in Hawaii.
Míralo, found a way to bring it up again. Míralo.
That song was on repeat. The J Boog Do It Again. Yeah, I love that song. It's like a cool
that's crazy that I just mentioned that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love that song.
I'm gonna have to hear that version.
Yeah, J Boog. Let's Do It Again.
Yeah, Let's Do It Again. You know what artist I do admire though is Doja Cat.
Doja Cat is one of the most versatile artists
ever
of this generation.
She's so good.
So good.
I went in a dark hole one day and I was just watching all her music videos, knowing that she created all of that in her mind. Amazing. And the way she even learned music through Pro Tools. Oh my God. What a artist. Like, she's an artist to me.
Yeah. She can rap, she can sing.
She can do it all.
And she does she could do like hard hip hop rap songs, and then she can like flip it and do like a pop song.
And she can dance her ass off.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I read that I went in a dark hole. She was in a pop locking group before.
Pop locking crew.
Yep. I'm pretty sure. It was, or breakdancing.
Breakdancing? Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I don't know if she was dancing like that.
Oh, yeah. She can dance. Yeah. I went in a dark hole. It was like 2 a.m. It was one of the nights I couldn't sleep.
Isn't it funny how like you're like, how did I end? 2 nights ago, I'm watching a video of how to survive a wild boar attack. And then as I'm watching this thing, I'm like, how did I end up here?
You don't even, I mean, it could be helpful one day. I've gone through my dark holes too. Last night was pretty helpful. I was reading about whiskey.
Whiskey?
Yeah. I have a love for old fashions. I was like, I want to learn more about this. So I went on a dark hole about whiskey, and now I'm trying to understand all these barrels.
I love it. So if you ever get attacked by a wild boar,
How
the
do I
key
do?
is to stay on your feet.
No,
Stay
don't
on
move.
your feet. Stay on your feet. Like if it drops you, you got to get back up and you got to, move around.
Oh,
And
that's if it actually attacks you.
If it
How do
actually
you
attacks
avoid
you.
being attacked is the
Well, you just-
question.
you
Why
just-
are you looking at it?
You run. It literally says step 1, run.
How did you end up on a...
I don't know.
All right.
Yeah. Speaking of the
Were you
internet.
high? Probably.
I was not. But it's just one of those, like, one thing leads you to it,
Yeah.
and then you end up at, like, how to survive a wild boar attack.
I mean, I've done that too.
Speaking of the internet, social media, you have millions of followers now. Do you feel is there a pressure that comes
Oh my
with
God,
that?
yes, every day. I hate posting.
How so?
I mean, you know what? It's just so easy to get backlash for things that I just don't want to do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Just because I'm a lot more self-conscious now. But you know what? I grew up in a generation that's different, and I'm unlearning as well. So, and then you got to keep like the whole algorithm thing, and then there are things that I want to post, but I don't know if I can because I'm like, is this offensive, or is it not? Like I think it's funny, and then I go through a dark hole.
Yeah.
I really do. Like, so I do feel pressure, but it's been a lot more fun for me lately. I think I actually read a book about social media to kind of ease my mind a bit. And I started paying attention to what I like looking at, and I just started being myself, and I just stopped caring. Obviously I do to a degree, but I stopped being so self-conscious about the aesthetic and the colors and the filtering, and I don't really edit any of my photos. I'm just like, here you go. This is my life.
Yeah. Forget the tones and because that was a thing for a while. Like
The color scheme and everything was a thing, and I was like, this is a lot of work, and it's not my job. This isn't what I'm doing this for fun, and because I do like interacting with fans, and I love reading their comments, the good ones. Some of you that are mean. That's all I have to say.
Les dijiste todo con eso.
With the eye.
Yeah,
That's
with
all
that
you need
look,
to know.
you said it all.
Yeah, if you've ever been with a Latina, that eye's not good.
Yeah, just don't look at me like that. I'll walk out of this room right now. Is there a special message that you want to give through your social media, or is it just like, hey, I'm just having fun?
One of my friends told me recently that she could see my confidence. It grew out of nowhere. It was like kind of an overnight thing that happened, and I just want to show more of that, like being myself. I got to be honest with you, when Chloe started posting more of herself and the woman that she is, it gave me a lot more confidence to do it. I was so scared to do it before. I was just so worried about the image, especially because I'm Latina. I didn't want to fit into any type of stereotype because I am self-conscious now. But, women's bodies are beautiful, and I'm 33 and I look amazing. I work hard too. So yeah, I'm going to flaunt it before I'm 85 and I still look amazing.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean,
I will, goddammit.
Yes, you will. She just gave me that look. Yes, no, you will.
I'm going to be on that Rita Moreno diet, whatever she does. She looks great.
Yeah, J-Lo is what, in her
52.
50s?
Yeah. That's the track I'm on.
Yeah.
I don't know what they did, but we're following it.
You gotta hit her up for the receta.
Oh yeah, I'm trying. I can't meet J-Lo. I don't know what I'd do. I've had my opportunities and I cry and run away.
You haven't met J-Lo yet, you said.
And we have the same acting teacher.
But you will.
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm just so nervous and shy, and they always say don't meet your heroes, but we'll see.
She's a good one.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I've heard great things.
Yeah.
But I had an opportunity one time. I was 21. I was 21 at Disney lot. And I remember walking out of a general meeting, and there was a woman walking in front of me next to another tiny little woman. And this woman was in a blue dress and patent leather Louboutins. And she was like swaying her hips. And I was like, wow, she's pretty from the back. And then she stopped by the doorway and turned around to get something from her bag. And it was Jennifer. And I literally went, and she goes, hi. And I went, hi. And I ran away. I ran away. Oh, yeah. There was no one there. It was literally me Jennifer, and whatever rep she had. And I'm like, and I ran, I cried, I hid behind a tree, and I looked to watch her get in the car.
Yeah.
Why did I do that? And I haven't seen her since.
Yeah, she's probably dodging you after that. She was a little weird.
I had my opportunity right there.
The first time I met her, she came to the radio station and played one of her songs.
Uh-huh.
And she sat right in front of me. I'm like maybe even closer than I am to you right now. And she's playing the song and she's just kind of looking around the room. But because I'm in front of her, she just kept looking at me. Like, she's just like, yeah, right. Do you like it? She's telling me with her eyes, right? And I'm just like nodding the whole time, like, yeah. And no, that's the reason I said she's one of the good ones. I mean that with the utmost respect, because, you know, sometimes I have met people that I looked up to and, you know, celebrities, and, you know, you're a little disappointed, you know? I think Jennifer is a different story. I think she's awesome.
Oh, that's amazing.
And when you get to meet her again and connect, but see, now it's going to be at a greater scale.
Yeah, now it's going to be different. Hopefully. She's like, I don't know who you are.
Don't choke.
It's okay.
Don't choke.
No, I won't choke this time. I won't choke. I hope.
So now we're going to go into rapid fire with Francia.
Ay, Dios.
Are you ready?
I don't know. Hit me.
I think you are. Favorite Spanish word?
Puta. That's thanks to my dad. he taught me that word. Hey, gran puta. That's what he always say.
Judges, do we accept that?
Ding ding. Ding ding.
Salsa or merengue? I know where this is going.
Salsa.
Favorite piece of tech that you use on a daily basis? It could be your phone, your laptop, an iPad. Someone said an air fryer recently.
Oh my God, an air fryer is the best thing in the world. Oh yeah, the air fryer. And a Roomba? Ooh.
Roomba, shout out, yeah. Shout out to
that's when you know you're an adult.
Yeah.
Yo, I just saw this other air fryer is like $400, but like you don't have to put any time. You just say it's salmon and it'll cook it perfect. I'll send you the link.
Please. I love my air fryer.
Oh, they're the best.
Best song to play at a party.
Ooh.
At a party that ends before 9 p.m.
Bitty bitty bam bam. Everyone knows it. Everyone.
Greatest rapper of all time.
Damn. That was a hard one. Hang on. Don't. I know it's rapid fire, but like, let me just.
Take your time.
Who was I just listening to? Of all time? I mean, my family told me that I used to be obsessed with Coolio.
Coolio!
When I was younger. Apparently, I didn't remember that. I listened to Dr. Dre a lot growing up. I would say probably Tupac.
Tupac,
yeah. The thing with rap music is I like to shake my ass. So
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I like to shake my ass. So if I can shake my ass, I love you. But lyric-wise...
So juvenile.
Actually, I like it. Yeah. You know what? J. Cole is dope.
J. Cole is dope.
I love J. Cole. And Wale, I also really appreciate. I also have a different love for him because he was my Dr. Phil one time. So I started listening to his music a lot more after that. Respect to him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll take all of those.
Yeah.
Best singer of all time.
Of all time? I mean, Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston. Yeah. Whitney Houston. Final answer.
Best show on Hulu right now.
How I Met Your Father.
Lastly, what's a nickname of yours that no one really knows about?
My mom used to call me Flaca.
Flaca.
Orange is the New Black. I was like, damn, I should have auditioned for that.
Flaca. Shout out to Jackie Cruz.
Yeah, that no one knows about. Yeah, Flaca. A lot of people Hillary calls me Frank. That's the new nickname now. Frank. On How I Met Your Father.
Sounds fancy.
Yeah, and then my other castmate calls me Francia because I signed up for Raya while we were filming, and the N was missing for like a day, so I was Francia for a day on Raya.
Well, Frank, I want to thank you for coming.
Thank you. That was fast.
That was an hour.
Oh, wow. See? Well, I was told 90 minutes, so.
No, thank you so much, Francia. I have so much respect and love for you. This is your home anytime.
Thank you so much.
Please.
Mariah Carey. Oh, my God. Sorry. I'm still thinking about the best singer of all time.
Kelly Clarkson.
Kelly Clarkson. She's great. Thank you so much for having me. Sorry about that squirrel moment. I was just thinking about all that. Thank you for having me. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, of course. Oh, thank you.
So we've actually known each other a really, really long time. Back when you were in Power.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look at you now.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. 15 years at Power.
Wow.
I started when I was 18 years old.
Do you miss that life?
No. I graduated.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually a great way of looking at it, and that's how I see my life now. You know, I was doing Grownish for 4 years, graduated this last season, and now I'm graduating in life. So I see it as like a serendipitous full circle moment that's happening. So happy graduation.
Thank you. Happy graduation to you.
Thank you.
Francia Raísa, thank you so much, and thank you so much for watching Mando and Friends presented by Verizon.